Women Who Lead in Business. I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, and I'm so excited that we are here tonight with 3 other amazing women who own businesses. I'm so excited. We have Maisha B. Hoy, as well as Dawn Marie Bornhammer, and Miss Monica Clark. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Excited to be here.
So exciting. And oh my goodness, it is National Women in Business Month. And what great day for us to actually begin this Women in Business show. So we're going to take the time now to just share a little bit about ourselves. I'm going to ask Dawn if you would kick it off for us.
Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, my name is Dawn Bornheimer. I am a sales executive and mentor for emerging leaders. I also do some consulting and leadership training and development.
And Ms. Maisha.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maisha Hoy. I am the Chief Customer Officer for Customer First Marketing, as well as the What Now movement, and I'm launching new things all the time.
I love it. And Miss Monica Clark.
I am a hairstylist, but I also own 2 hair salons, the Hair Company USA and the Hair Company USA for Kids. And I am also a marketing specialist.
Awesome. I tell you, ladies. And so we have a dynamic guest that's coming up, but before she comes on, we just want to talk a little bit about this show, the Women Who Lead in Business. And Maisha, I want to start with you because the Women in Business is something that you've been talking about now for quite a while. Tell me what's the importance for you in really highlighting and featuring women in business?
So it's really 2 areas. One, the obvious, I'm a woman, but 2, women actually helped me start every business that I have had. The Maisha Lemonade Stand, Customer First Marketing, hopefully Q-Bob, were all started with one customer, with a woman. So I've had passion about helping them grow, and they have passion about helping me grow. And I think that's the collective part that we all love about being a women in business.
I love that. And Dawn, you actually, you work with so many dynamic women, helping, whether it's business development, whether it's coaching. Talk to me a little bit about your excitement about women in business.
So I think it's important that we help amplify each other's voices, and not everyone naturally feels that they can just step into a room and know that they deserve to be there. And so we have the opportunity to elevate one another's voices while we're in shared spaces, but also to create spaces where we all feel safe to be seen and heard, and honor each other's gifts. I love seeing women light up and share with their passion and purpose. And oftentimes they just need a little nudge. And so it's such a beautiful opportunity to co-create with other women and to allow them to bring their passion and their purpose forward and to empower them to do so they can help more people.
I love that. And Miss Monica, oh my goodness, hairstylist, salon owner times 2. Talk to us about your passion for women in business.
So my passion for women in business runs really deep because dealing with women, typically when you're dealing with women in beauty, you're faced with, like, every time a client comes in, I never really know what's coming in the door until they're actually in the chair. And like some people, they'll come and get their hair done after they've lost their job. They'll come to get their hair done because they're getting a new job. So different things like that. Sometimes when people are going through stress, it's their birthday, just different things. So you never quite know. So you have to be ready for everything. And being in PG County, we're dealing with a lot of women or they're entrepreneurs themselves. So I have a huge responsibility to make women look their best before they go out and tackle any business that they have to. So I'm very, very passionate because I want them to look their best so they can feel their best. So I'm very
You touched on a very key point of the beauty part of it. I saw everybody's heads because we all know that when we look good, we feel better, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's just something that we know. And when you're down and out, you go get your hair done, you go get your nails done, you are picked up automatically, right? Instant.
Right.
Definitely looking at women in business and women in general play a huge role into how we operate from day to day. So I really love that. And I want to go back to Maisha with your marketing piece as well. That's also something because, you know, after we get our hair done and our makeup done and our nails done, it's time to market ourselves, right? Market our business and do all of the things that we know that's going to help us, uplift us, inspire us, and to do greater things and to help each other. So talk a little bit about the marketing aspect of what you do.
Well, we talked about this. So one of the master classes, our brand, and how we take all the elements. And I think sorry, Monica, you didn't take the master class, but we learned about colors and the, you know, application of the things we say and how we present ourselves to the public. So how we feel and the image we present to the public is all about branding. It's all about marketing. When I'm talking to clients, that's all about marketing. So I think women, and I hate to say it, we need to look good to feel good to get that message out there, but sometimes we can fake it till we make it as well. So marketing is all about how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our companies. And if we're not too great on our companies sometimes, we can fake it till we make it.
I love it. So Dawn, let's go back to you because again, you are in a unique space. I feel you have education as a background, but you also are our executive coach. You work with organizations, and so talk to us a little bit about your experience in working with women in all of those different aspects.
Yeah, I think it's unique. I can kind of weave Monica and Maisha's comments together as well, because I know that when I feel more confident, how I'm presenting myself, how I'm showing up, whether that be online or in person, it certainly adds an element of confidence. And when you can radiate a certain type of energy, you can create the energy in the room and really empower women to do so. And it's really important that we find that comfort with our language, with our message, with our presentation of ourselves and our knowledge to really own that space and take up all the space we're meant to. And we have the opportunity to do that. And oftentimes that requires us to prepare or to feel that we have a safe space where we can practice and develop those communication skills. And so I really have the opportunity and the gift of spending time with people to help them understand how do they pull out the best of them. Maisha loves the phrase when I say zone of genius. They have the opportunity to step into their zone of genius and recognize from within what they radiate outward and what they care to show up and provide. And so really pulling that out of someone is one of my talents and gifts. And then being able to help them show up as the best version of themselves so that they can be respected, they can be heard, they can be seen, and feel comfortable and confident that they showed up as their best self when they walk out of that experience, knowing that they did what was self-honoring, that they were in their integrity, and then also that they feel really good about the execution of everything that they prepared prior to.
I love that. And it's October is recognized as a National Women in Business Month. And Maisha, we've been talking about that back and forth. What does that mean to you guys? Because we know that more women than ever are now owning businesses, are becoming entrepreneurs, are walking away from careers and starting their own business. What does that mean to you, the National Women in Business Month? Because we've come a long way, as they say. We have a ways to go, but we've come a mighty long way. And so I just want to get your take on just really honoring the whole space of being a woman that's a business owner or an entrepreneur. Dawn, let's start with you.
So I think we have come a long way, and I think we've got a long way to go. But what I love and what I'm seeing more of is women supporting other women, less competition and more elevation. And that's exciting to me. I've always believed that there is enough for all, and there is an abundance of opportunity. And there are some that don't have access to that, and in a way that maybe perhaps I do. And so I recognize my privilege in some ways, and I recognize my opportunity to bring others with me. And I think there are more women that are starting to see that we can go further together. And so helping lift one another up is probably the most exciting transition that I'm seeing coming. And what I'm excited to see happen in the future is really more women feeling not only capable and confident that they can step out on their own, but also recognizing what they deserve and can create for themselves. I took a course this week on psychological safety, and we'll chat a little bit about that later. But one of the things that comes up for me in that space was there was someone who shared that they don't feel psychologically safe in their work environment. And my first thought was, so create a new room, like build it, create it, cultivate it, invite people to your space. And that's what we have the opportunity to do when we step out on our own. We get to decide what the rules are, what the parameters are, and what we seek to create and cultivate in that space.
You know, that really touches on something that I just want to bring about, because we've always heard, you know, creating your seat at the table, right? And I've always been a little leery about that, because I've always taken the notion, if there's not a seat at the table, then I'm going to create my own table. So I don't have to force myself at your table. It's just the notion that we can now take responsibility for our own destination. So I love that. And I think more women, more than ever, are having that same mindset that we can do more. And so I want to touch now on, you know, with having our business, we are all of us here probably wear hundreds of different things, right? Hats, right? We do multiple things in the community, in our families, in our careers, all of these things. How would you say best that you fit into this world of multiple hats, multiple roles that we're playing, Maisha? And you're a mom, Maisha.
Yeah, so for me, and that's why it's important to celebrate this month, because there's a lot of mompreneurs, single mompreneurs, serial women entrepreneurs, and being able, I guess, to compartmentalize and prioritize, and I guess don't think of the other I's that we need to do on a daily basis in order to run a successful business, in order to manage the people we have under, in order to manage the clients, is a feat within itself, I believe. So being a mom who, golly, we're going through college applications now, that's a full-time business, I just found out. So being able to prioritize, multitask, all these things that we do as women in our homes, it's so easily applied to what we do in our business that I'm almost surprised that there aren't more of us taking this leap and relying on ourselves to build a foundation of wealth, to create the legacy of entrepreneurship in our family. So I think going back to your original question, is that's why I want to celebrate all the women who are doing this today. And it's very important to me that I compartmentalize. So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going back to being mom and giving my son the presence that he needs in order for him to be successful in life.
I really like that. And I'm going to go to Monica with that, because being a salon owner, a hairstylist, not sure your family life, but that has to be tough within itself as well. So can you talk a little bit about how you are managing it all, being in the community? I see you out there in the community, working your business, and actually a hairstylist. So how are you managing everything?
So it's funny that you say like about my family. So I don't have kids, but I run a staff of 20 employees. So they depend on me as if they were my kids. So although, I may have kids someday in the future, I honestly cannot really imagine how I would juggle like my kids at work versus like really having kids, because there are a lot of people who depend on me.
And I'm sure you said with over 20 employees that that you're actually supervising and managing, they are depending on you.
Yes.
I'm sure.
100% depending on you. Just like a child.
That's true. That's so true. Oh my goodness. So
and then the clients depend on me as well, because if they have a major event, it's their birthday, it's like everything's an emergency, so and I have to take care of them as well. So it's definitely something that you have to juggle, and it's something that you have to, just build the muscle for.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you. So guys, we're going to just stop and acknowledge our sponsor for the show, WNM Ventures LLC and the What Now movement. And I'm really excited because both Maisha and Dawn have intimate experience with both. And I just want each of you just to share a little bit about WNM Ventures and the What Now movement. President and co-founder Eric Twitz, along with Ted Fells. Our marketing specialist is Maisha Hoy, and what's your title, Dawn?
The Chief Movement Officer.
She keeps it going. So I want you guys, because this is a space that we can uplift our sponsor who's doing great things. So Maisha, I'm going to let you start, and Dawn, please add on.
So I love the mission of the What Now movement. It ties into everything you want to do when you start a company or you become an entrepreneur. You want to help people grow. And I think we're helping people grow personally, professionally, as well as their business. And the programs we put together, the What Now University, I use the masterclass, Get Your Mic Right, to prepare for today's video. So our mission is really to be that brand that helps people take wherever they're trying to go to the next level. And that's why Dawn's so important. That's why what you're doing it's inspirational, how you pull all this together. The podcast, all the stuff that we're doing is either a model for success or something that we are sharing with others on how to duplicate it. And I think that's another reason why women in business are so successful. We are so willing to share our thoughts and our ideas with others. We sometimes forget to get paid for it, but we are so willing to do that. So the What Now movement, and now the WM Ventures, which is more of a business to government, business to business management consulting company. If we can pull this model together, which many people have tried to bring multiple businesses together for one goal, and that is revenue growth, as well as the other things that we're doing. But number one, revenue growth. If we can pull that model together, I think we'll have done something really special starting from COVID.
Thank you for that. Dawn?
Yeah, I'll just add to that I think we have a unique opportunity because we have a lot of people that are looking to collaborate in a way that they might not have been before. I think the pandemic amplified for a lot of people that it's an opportunity to learn how to take your business from, the traditional in-person environment into the online space, and that they needed others with expertise to do so. So, reaching out and connecting with these different people that have different areas of expertise, allowing you to come together and to figure out how to move forward together is just what we're creating and cultivating, putting those people in the same spaces, making introductions, networking, connecting. And then the business venture side of it is really exciting to me because we have an opportunity to go after larger contracts that might have multi layers to them and say, we want to do this contract in this space, but we need someone with IT expertise. We need research analysis. We need marketing support. We need presentation, training, and development. And how do you have all of those people in your network to grab hold of and say, let's do this and move forward together? And that's exciting to me, to be able to not have to be so single-minded, but to look at the broader opportunity to serve.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. And I was saying that I think the opportunity to bring individuals and business together for bigger opportunities than they're getting today. I need to write that down, Dr. Sharon. I think
I know, that was good, right?
That could be another value prop.
I love it. I love it. And so again, we thank W&M Ventures, the What Now movement, for our sponsorship today for the Women Who Lead in Business. So thank you for that information. So guys, we're going to shift a little bit. We're going to shift to some business topics, as well as some headlines that are current in today's world. And Maisha, I want to start with yours because it was very interesting. You chose to talk about the Women in Business Leadership in America on the Rise. Can you just tell us a little bit, while I bring it up, just tell us a little bit about this topic that you wanted to discuss?
Well, I think we really hit it on we talked about it this whole show. But so Dr. Sharon and Dawn, and now you'll know, I like metrics and I like data. So when I see the number of firms increasing and the revenue dollars, I think it hit $1 trillion. I think I read that somewhere today. We are now building businesses and hiring employees and making our stake in the world up to $1 trillion. I just can't, I guess. It's so exciting that every time a new business is started and we sell a product, that we're contributing to the gross national product or GDP, whatever you want to call it. So when I see numbers showing up, I get excited. So that's why I shared it today. I mean, the number, and even Dr. Sharon, you know, the number of accelerators and grants. We have someone who's really actively showing all of the grants available. So there's new funding available. There's new access to funding that's happening. There's just all kinds of excitement around women-owned businesses as well as minority-owned businesses. So I'm happy to be part of that, you know, that box that I checked.
Absolutely.
So metrics is.
I love it. I love it. And so, you know, and we actually talked about this in the beginning, how the increase of women-owned businesses are coming, but it's not only just that they're owning, but they are making money because that's the bottom line. It's no good just to be in business, right? You have to be an income generating business because that's what we're doing. And so it's really good to see that people that we know and can touch and know and see are doing this, because, you know, we can read about women, but when you know women who are doing great things, that's someone that you can lean on, that you can, you know, become part of that network to grow. And Dawn, you said it best, you know, it's time out for competing. We have to collaborate. We have to come together because I truly believe we're better together. And so I think just keeping that same mindset for that, I think it's wonderful. Monica, you have anything to add to this one, Women Business Ownership in America on the Rise?
Yes, I do. I know basically there was a time that women always felt like either they needed a man to back them or it wasn't enough for their own, because like the other young lady said, there was a lot of competition with women. So you couldn't really get the support from other women, and you really wanted to do it on your own because you wanted to feel like you didn't need a man per se, and you wanted to, it's always been like a huge competition. I remember before I owned my own business and I worked in the federal government, there was always competition with men when it related to promotions and certain type of positions and things like that. So it's really important for me to always help other women that want to be entrepreneurs or want to succeed in business, help, pull other women up. So women in business and ownership on the rise is really, really important, because a lot of times I know my story with myself. As I was growing in business, people would always think, oh, well, I'm sure there's her boyfriend probably helped her get her business, or some guy, like people always automatically assume that there was a guy backing the woman and that the woman couldn't get it on their own. So I think it's really important that women are helping other women grow and rise in business.
And I think that's a good point. That, let me just, for the record, I started my company with my own savings. I've gotten clients that are men, but I use my own resources to start. And I'm constantly trying to figure out how to maintain profitability using my own resources. I can be very frugal when it comes to spending. But that's it. I never thought about the perception of women in business still being perceived through men's eyes. That's a very interesting point, Monica. Thanks. Something to think about.
Thanks.
Dawn, you want to add to the conversation?
We definitely have to do the Women Who Lead conference.
Yeah, I think the other thing, that comes out of what Monica's sharing is perception, right? We have to decide what we care about in terms of the perception of others. We have to decide to lift each other up. We have to decide to ask for help. We have to look forward and say, this woman is doing something that I want to do in 5 years. I want to learn from her so I don't make the same mistakes. And that same woman that's 5 years ahead of you has to be willing to look to you and say, I want to help you so you can get where I am in 3 years. And we have to do that. It's a two-way street. So we have to be willing to ask for help. We have to be willing to give it, and we have to be willing to mentor. So I really like the opportunity that goes both directions. And so I always make a point of reaching back to someone that's a few years behind me in their career path, but may aspire to be where I am today, and take the time to help them, to share some of the lessons and to empower them so that they can learn from where I've already been, so they can go further than perhaps I already am. And that's exciting to me, to be able to do that and to not feel that I'm giving anything away that is mine, so much as it's this knowledge becomes power that we can share with one another.
I love it. Thank you for bringing that up, Maisha, because it's especially here at National Women in Business Month. We have to celebrate where we are. I just believe that we have to celebrate where we are. So we're going to move to Dawn. You touched on this in the beginning when you introduced yourself. Psychological safety and women in the workplace. Very deep. Please, let's talk about that.
Yeah, and this can be a very in-depth topic, but I'm going to try to keep it high level, but I hope it'll get people thinking, because I think it's important. I took a course recently this week with USC Marshall, an executive leadership course, and we talked about psychological safety and leadership within the workplace. But what also happens as a result of psychological safety is, as women, as we enter into the workplace or we are stepping into a new environment, there are voices in our head, whether they're, perceived or not, whether they were a loving parent or a teacher or someone who wanted us to be successful. They share these ideas of, how do you assimilate? How do you fit in? How do you get that seat at the table? How do you make sure that you're not too anything, right? You're not too loud, you're not too bold, you're not too outspoken. And in giving you those messages, you start to decide that you have to show up a certain way. And what happens as a result of that is the environment in which we don't always feel safe to show up as our authentic self, our true self. And maybe for me, I'm an extrovert and I do speak my mind and I do advocate and I can be considered direct. And so I have to make a decision that is okay for me. But as leaders, we have to create environments that the people that we support and serve also feel safe to show up as their full selves. And it's okay to be a mom. It's okay to be a single mom. It's okay to need to take certain time for yourself. It's okay to want to work remotely. So we have a couple of different responsibilities. I think about Monica, who shared that she's got 20 employees who are looking for her to create an environment that supports them being comfortable to show up as their full selves and to bring their whole selves to work so they can take care of her clients. I think about Maisha and her opportunity to lead the people that report to her, and she has an opportunity to create that culture. When people don't feel psychologically safe, they don't feel fully engaged, they don't show up as their full selves, they don't contribute at the level they would if they feel that it's not okay to make mistakes, right? It's not okay to try something new and have it not be perfect. And so I think we have psychological safety for women especially is a unique topic because men, especially white men, feel far more psychologically safe. If we look at the data and statistics around it, they feel far more comfortable. They believe that if they meet 8 out of 10 boxes on a criteria, that they can learn the other 2 and they're qualified for the job. Women, however, if they don't check all 10 boxes, they're like, I don't know if I should apply. And it's, we have to shift that mindset. We have to say, we are more than capable. We are more than willing. We're going to help each other get there. And we're going to empower each other to make sure that we show up fully in the environments that we not only create, but the environments we truly belong in. And we need diverse voices at the table. We need perspective. Always in order for us to grow. It is the birthplace of creativity. And so I get really excited about psychological safety because I think it's an opportunity to build trust. And also there is growth attached to it. I believe Gallup is, one in many who have shown positive statistics around high performance. And one of the commonalities around high performing teams is psychological safety at its core. They trust each other. They believe it's safe to come together with creative and unique ideas. And for those that don't feel psychologically safe in the workplace, that's often what chooses. The Great Resignation is all about that. People are moving away and going to create their own thing because they haven't felt psychologically safe in corporate America or in another environment in which they're in. And so I think it's really important for us to take a look at it through the lens of women this month and really think about what we can do for one another to build trusted teams and to just ensure that people feel that their voice matters in the environments in which they're working and serving.
So, okay. So Dawn, I want to peel that back just a little bit because the trust issue is huge in that, in what you're saying. And you authentically get trust through experiences, right? Like you just don't automatically trust, right? And in the workplace, sometimes that is so difficult. In your experience, what would you suggest to that individual that woman who may not be one to self-advocate for, to advocate for herself, because the trust is not there, because you have to feel confident most of the time to stand up for yourself. There's no repercussions. So what do you suggest? What do you give to the woman that's out there listening now that feels like she needs to stand up a little more for herself, but just don't have it in her totally?
So oftentimes I look to create allyship inside smaller pockets, right? So if you have a group of 10 individuals that you have a weekly meeting with, but there's one person that you feel a little bit more connected with, those little micro moments, they've shown you their integrity. They've shown you that they are actively listening. They show you that they're there to support you. Could you build rapport with that person outside of that room so that when you're both in that room, you have that shared understanding that you're going to support one another in that space? And what can you do together to elevate one another's voices, or to have a shared stance, or for you to look across the room and say, Maisha, I know we talked about this when we met on Thursday. Can you share a little bit more about your perspective on this? And be the person who creates space for Maisha to then speak up in that meeting if she is not comfortable. So I think you can build the smaller trusted circles, if you will, build the smaller connections so that when you're in the larger group, you can help one another in that larger environment. And I think that's how trust gets built. It's built in the small moments. It's not necessarily always built in those larger environments or groups.
I love that. Thank you. Monica and Maisha, would you like to add to the conversation?
It's funny that you say that, because I left corporate America almost 10 years ago, and one of the issues, thank you, Dawn, I'm always learning from you, I think was the psychologically safe part. I have always been one of the few Black women in a managing position, so you do have to choose how much of your authentic self you're going to bring to the table, because there's always the trust issue. Are they going to throw the fact that I'm a single mom, in my face? Now, I was one of those people, I'm a single mom, I need to get home to pick up my son, I'm going to work from home. I was upfront and honest about all the things I could bring to the table. And luckily, I knew what I was doing. But when you think about the women in business and us having to navigate to the C level, so we have to talk about that, because that could be a whole leadership, professional development, mentorship program that the What Now Ventures could take on, because I don't think it's within us. I don't think it's us. I think we have to take this message that you're saying today upwards to, unfortunately right now, there's still more men who are running things. So always giving me something to think about, Dawn. Thank you.
And there's certainly opportunity there for all of us to do really, better, and to be mindful of how we show up in those rooms.
Yeah.
All right, Monica, you have anything to add to that?
Well, that was a really, really good point, Dawn, when you said how trust is built in small moments, and it doesn't take it made me think that it doesn't take long to learn someone's integrity or learn someone's character, but in those small moments that you speak of, it's like making sure that we pay attention to those small moments. Because when little things happen that
it's always when she's dropping such a good nugget.
Right.
She's like the mic drop moment, and then it's like
oh my goodness.
hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, so basically I was saying that in the small moments, if we don't be mindful of those small moments of trust or small moments of receiving someone's integrity, if we don't be mindful when we see things, we'll let those small moments add up and they'll get really big, and then we'll consider it as mistrust, when in all actuality we were seeing those small moments plenty of times before it became like a big deal to us. So I really like that point when you said you get trust, and experiences are built in small moments.
Yeah, trust can be gained and lost in those micro moments, right?
Yes.
There are very little things that people can do to earn your trust, and there are things that people can do in an instant to lose it. And
Right.
We have to be really mindful and careful of how we show up for people. And I think the other point is that none of us are perfect. We are human, and part of being human is being able to acknowledge when we make a mistake, when we offend that wasn't my intent. However, how you received my message is equally important in this conversation.
Right.
So if I intended something and you received it differently, it's up to me to course correct and to have a conversation and seek to understand so I can learn from that. And part of that is the relationship building. And so you can earn trust just through that type of exercise and being willing to say, I don't think I showed up the way I intended in that conversation. And so I would just ask, like, for you to help me understand how that might have made you feel, right? Just being willing to say, I'm not perfect, can also be an opportunity to bridge trust with somebody who may have received your intention differently than you perhaps put forward. So.
Very good conversation. And so we are going to move to the next topic, which I found very interesting. And I love the Fortune top list of women in business each year. I always learn so much about women. That's one thing that that social media or the internet that is the network that you build from all of these women. Like I always say, my mentors in my head, right? And so these are certainly women. And I just wanted to, first of all, just read the information here because it's very powerful information. So it says the past 18 months have radically altered the course of women's careers. This year's most powerful women ranking illustrates that even those at the top of corporate America aren't immune. 5 of the women in our top 10 became CEOs during the pandemic, thrown into the fire of leading in a period of extreme uncertainty. Rosalind Brewer and Dasonda Brown Duckett became the 2 of the 4 Black women to ever run Fortune 500 companies. For the first time, we have 2 women that was sharing a job and therefore a spot on the list in our 2021 ranking, also including 5 newcomers. And so every year, Fortune puts out this ranking of these amazing women. And I, as what do I call it? A self-study. I like to actually go in to read about these women, connect with them, because the first thing that I do, let me find them on LinkedIn, let me follow them, because I want to see, as a woman in business, a woman in business, I want to see what it is that they're doing and how can I duplicate that, right? So many amazing things, and so many that I've never heard of. The number one, Karen Lynch, I actually looked deeper into her, and she's actually the CEO of CVS Health. And so, as you know, CVS became huge during the pandemic, right? With all of the vaccinations, all of the testing that they did. She ran CVS during this time and has taken CVS into higher heights. That's amazing. And so I want you guys to just look through and see, who are you familiar with? I know Rosalind Brewer, she's been in the news for quite some time now. But a lot of these women I had never heard of. And I just think that it behooves us as women to look and find these women who we've not heard of and let us become familiar with them. So I just want to hear your take on any of the women that you see, any that you want me to click on, so that we can just talk a little more about them and the work that they're doing. So anyone want to take a shot? Maisha, I see you looking, girl. You're like...
Number one, you're right. I'm looking at this list, and maybe I know their companies, but don't know their names.
They are, yes.
And I go to CVS probably twice a week. So that's just crazy. So, and then the other thing is, I'm always looking for the minority. So I never heard of this. What's it? The Dasonda Brown. I would love for you to click on her so I can see how I can either buy stock or.
Right, absolutely. So, and I don't even know this company. Tia, is anybody familiar with that?
TIAA, is it TIAA Craft, the financial services company?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she moved from JP Morgan Chase. Okay. So, yep, financial. Okay. So, so she's a finance leader. To me, I'm like, I can get trapped in this like all day.
Yeah, me too. Don't get me to start clicking.
And, oh my God. and all of the links within it, it's like a spiral. And so I just think it's so amazing, because there's the pathway is out there. It's what I feel like, and it's just us getting to know the individuals, and there's so many more out there, not even the ones that just made the list, but there's so many in your local communities that are out there that are doing great things, taking their companies to great heights. So any other comments about the Fortune most powerful
we're gonna pray and uplift this, because she's managing people's money. That is a lot of responsibility.
Exactly.
Sharon, can you click on number 7?
Absolutely. Let's click on Gail. Okay. Anthem?
So Gail is interesting to me, and I don't know her until I just clicked on her bio very quickly. But Anthem is an interesting company because there is a large representation of women in the healthcare space, and Anthem focuses on patient outcomes.
Okay.
And so to see that organization, Effective Medical System, being run by a female is exciting, right? Because sometimes what we see in leadership is the leader does not reflect the rest of the organization. And so when we think about elevating and having Black male teachers in the classroom, right, we think about the children need to see someone that looks like them in that role. And so to be in a healthcare organization and to have a male figure always, at the helm is not reflective of the work population. So within Anthem, to have the larger percentage being female in terms of the employee base, it's exciting to see a female at the lead. I also know that Anthem is doing some really innovative and creative things. A coworker, a female leader that I used to work with, has gone to work there and feels really empowered in the work environment. So lots of positive things coming from other female leaders within the organization, which is a sign that this particular leader is mindful of that and elevating voices and creating space for other women within the organization.
Love it. Thank you for that. Awesome. So I encourage all of you out there who are viewing us today, definitely, take a look and actually the articles, and we'll post the articles that we talked about, Maisha's article, this one, so that you can peruse it at your own leisure. So I'm going to go to Monica. Is there a topic, something that you want to discuss? Sort of like the table here that we have. Is there something that you would like to share?
No, not offhand. All the topics so far has been really, really, really good, and they're really, really interesting. But I didn't have a specific topic.
Awesome. And so, guys, and I am just so bummed out that our guests could not be on tonight, but we're definitely are going to have to get her on. Aisha, she is just amazing.
How amazing women on the rise in business is.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, guys, again, as I was saying, Aisha could not be on tonight, and I am just so bummed out because she is just amazing. I actually had the opportunity. She is the founder of Sisters in Business Expo, and these expos that she do all across the country are amazing, and so many so much information for business owners, for women business owners. I had the privilege of covering the expo when it came to the DMV for the first time this year. It was at College Park, Maryland, on the campus of University of Maryland, and it was just amazing. And she was actually going to come on tonight and talk about a pitch competition that Sisters in Expo is actually sponsoring. And so I wanted to definitely share this with our viewers, and Maisha, we probably want to put this in the What Now movement group as well. But it's a pitch competition that's going to be held Friday, November 19th. At 6:30. It's going to stream live on YouTube and Facebook, but the applications are due October 29th. So that's only a couple of weeks. But the first prize is $10,000. And so for more information, you can go and apply at sibexpo.us pitch, /pitch. So this is a great opportunity for women in business, especially startups. So you can pitch your business, and the first prize is $10,000. So I just definitely wanted to share that with our viewers. Exciting, isn't it?
I'm gonna try to get an application in so I can get some money for QBob, my newest business.
Love it. I love it. I love it. So guys, we are now at the part of the show, which is my absolute favorite segment of the show, and it's our Women in Business shout out. I believe in uplifting others. And Dawn, you are really big about not self-promoting, and I love that. You always talk about how we have to lift each other. And so that's what the Women in Business shout out is all about. So I'm actually going to start with Dawn for your Women in Business shout out. Who are you shouting out today?
Yeah, so I'm shouting on one of my beautiful friends, Jen Brazelton. She is a childbirth educator and a doula in the DMV area. And she just brings so much heart, love, and passion to her work. As someone who has seen women navigating, whether it be their pregnancy or postpartum, post-pregnancy, to be met with such empathy and compassion, and to have someone who can truly become your partner and your friend in the process, and really just ensure that you feel supported. A lot of people believe that, you know, family or spouse can provide that for them, and oftentimes they can, but she just has such a wealth of knowledge, and I'm just so excited to see her growing her business. She's partnering with a friend of ours, Katie Singh, who does breath work this month, and bringing Katie's breath work techniques to her pregnant families right now. And so she's just creating not only opportunities for other women to come and meet these women that she's working with, but I just love her business, and I just love what she's doing for these families in her community. And so just excited to share the work that she's doing, exciting to see her business taking off. And you guys a couple of you have met her in person, and she is just a lovely light. And I just love to see her to do more to help support her. And so I wanted to make sure that we gave her a shout out this evening.
Awesome. I love it. And we will make sure to put that link also in the chat. So our first Women in Business shout out. So awesome. Thank you for that, Dawn. And Miss Maisha, who is your Women in Business shout out for this show today?
I am shouting out Shauna Barnes and Call Your Admin. It's a virtual assistant company also located in Prince George's County, Maryland. Look at that. I love it. And I met her through working with a client, Fit Worldwide, and she just kept us moving and on task. And it was just amazing, like, to see how she pulled together, going back to clients and customers, 5 to 10 people on one project, and she handled it like nobody's business. I just also found out she is a foster mom, which I was like, oh my gosh, how do you run a business and become a foster mom, and all the other wonderful things that she does. So Shauna Barnes, Call Your Admin for all your virtual assistant needs.
Call Your Admin. I like that. I really like that. Okay, Miss Monica, who is your business shout out?
So I put the website in the chat. But I actually want to shout out, she's not a woman yet, but she's a 13-year-old CEO. She makes custom Crocs, and she does an amazing job, and she's actually gone viral a few times through Instagram. But she started her business during the pandemic, and because it's important for us to lift other women up on the rise. I think it's really important when we see young girls making a difference to let them know that there are adults that want them to succeed and want them to.
I love the website. I'm like, who is doing the drawings? I love it.
These youngins, they are for real.
Oh,
Oh, she's a 13-year-old entrepreneur.
So nice. Thank you for that. And what's her name?
Her name is Serenity. Her name is Serenity.
Shout out to Serenity. Beauty, Innate Boutique. Oh, how wonderful. And she's 13?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Another wonderful women in business, actually young lady in business, shout out. Awesome. And so my shout out is actually Vontel Eyewear. I love these ladies. Let's see if I can get this up. I love these ladies. Guys, y'all know I love me some black. But Vontel Eyewear, two HBCU graduates came together they are living in New York. They created these wonderful snazzy styles of eyewear, and just simply beautiful. And it all came out of them losing their eyewear and wanting some, what they say, funky, some creative ones. And so they couldn't find what they wanted. So guess what? They created them. I love it. And so it's Vontel Eyewear, Tracy Flowers Harris, and Vontel, they're both the co-owners and founder of Vontel. But you can purchase them. They're out of New York. They have really taken off. I think they started it maybe a year and a half ago, but it has really picked up. And so I'm just shouting out Vontel Eyewear and the Women in Business shout out for today. So shout out to you ladies. We are so excited. We applaud you, and we wish you nothing but success in your businesses. We're just excited for you, and we would definitely have to have each of them show, ladies. So please, let's contact them so that we can get them as guests on the show to talk more about their business.
Absolutely.
Yes, wouldn't that be awesome? So absolutely. So guys, we are going to wrap up at this time, but I want to say our very first show, Women Who Lead in Business, right here in October in National Women in Business Month. It has been outstanding and amazing. Also, I want to remind you that a Women Who Lead show is right here every Wednesday from 7 to 8. And so the first Wednesday is Women in Finance. Second Wednesday is Women in Business. The third Wednesday is Women in Real Estate. And the fourth Wednesday is Women in Education. So you can get all of your fuel for Women Who Lead right here each Wednesday at 7 p.m. And so as we close, ladies, I'm going to ask each of you to please share, where can our audience follow you? Where can they connect with you and learn more about the work that you do? Maisha, if you would kick it off for us.
Okay, so you can Google me, Maisha B. Hoy, and I should be on Twitter, Instagram, all those great places. My brand is Maisha's Lemonade Stand. That's the one I use to try to bring all my passion and mission together. So Maisha B. Hoy, Maisha's Lemonade. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's good. That's where you can find me.
Awesome. Ms. Dawn Marie Bornheimer.
Yeah, so thank you for asking. I would love to connect with people on LinkedIn. You could also, if you're a member of the What Now Movement Facebook group, you can also reach out to me there. I am looking to always connect with those that are in that network and introduce them to other folks. But if you're interested in just connecting with me directly, LinkedIn is a perfect place, and we can talk all things leadership, business, coaching, anything that you would like to discuss. I am open and look forward to connecting.
Thank you. And Ms. Monica Clark.
So my business is The Hair Company USA. I'm online as thehaircompanyusa.com. And my personal Instagram page is Monica Clark Official.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter. I am Dr. Sharon on all social media platforms. We hope that you will join us again. We're here every second Wednesday, but again, enjoy the Women Who Lead every Wednesday from 7 to 8. We want to say thank you so much for being a part of our show, our very first show, ladies. Wonderful dialogue, wonderful conversation, and that's what you'll get every Wednesday here. So thank you, and we will see you